Lunchtime, 2 Chronicles 29. Hizkiyahu began to reign when he was 25 years old, and he reigned 29 years in Yerushalayim, and his mother's name was Abiyah, the daughter of Zechariah. And he did what was right in the eyes of Jehovah, according to all that his father David did. In the first year of his reign, in the first new moon, he opened the doors of the house of Jehovah and repaired them, and brought in the priests and the Levites and gathered them in the open place to the east. And he said to them, "Listen to me, O Levites. Now set yourselves apart, set apart the house of Jehovah, Elohim of your fathers, and remove the uncleanness from the set apart place. For our fathers have trespassed and have done evil in the eyes of Jehovah, our Elohim, and have forsaken him, and have turned their faces away from the dwelling place of Jehovah, and have given their backs. And they have shut the doors of the porch, and put out the lamps, and they have not burned incense or offered ascending offerings in the set-apart place to the Elohim of Yisrael. Therefore the wrath of Jehovah fell upon Yehudah and Yerushalayim, and he has given them up for a trembling, for an astonishment, and for a hissing, as you see with your eyes. And see, because of this our fathers have fallen by the sword, and our sons and our daughters and our wives are in captivity for this. Now it is in my heart to make a covenant with Jehovah, Elohim of Yisrael, so that the heat of his wrath turns away from us. My sons, do not be slack, for Jehovah has chosen you to stand before him, to serve him, and to be attendants for him, and burn incense." And the Levites rose up, Mahath, son of Amasai, and Yoel, son of Azariahu, of the sons of the Kehathites, and of the sons of Merari, Kish, son of Abdi, and Azariahu, son of Yahalalel, and of the Gershonites, Yoah, and of Zimmah, and Eden, son of Yoah, and of the sons of Elitzaphan, Shimri, and Yehiel, and of the sons of Asaph, Zechariahu, and Matanyahu, and of the sons of Haman, Yehiel, and Shemai, and of the sons of Yeduthan, Shemaiah, and Uziel. And they gathered their brothers, and set themselves apart, and went according to the command of the sovereign, at the words of Jehovah, to cleanse the house of Jehovah. And the priests came into the inner parts of the house of Jehovah to cleanse it, and brought out all the uncleanness they found in the Hekal of Jehovah, to the courtyard of the house of Jehovah. Then the Levites received it to take it outside to the Wadi Kidron. And they began to set apart on the first day of the first new moon. And on the 8th day of the new moon, they came to the porch of Jehovah. And they set apart the house of Jehovah in 8 days. And on the 16th day of the first new moon, they had finished. Then they came in to the sovereign Hizkiyahu and said, "We have cleansed all the house of Jehovah, and the slaughter place of ascending offering with all its utensils, and the table of the showbread with all its utensils, and all the utensils which sovereign Ahaz in the reign had pushed aside when he trespassed. We have prepared and set apart, and see, they are before the slaughter place of Jehovah." And sovereign Hizkiyahu rose up early, and gathered the heads of the city, and went up to the house of Jehovah. And they brought 7 bulls, and 7 rams, and 7 lambs, and 7 male goats for a sin offering for the rain, for the set-apart place, and for Yehudah. And he said to the priests of the son of Aharon to offer them on the slaughter place of Jehovah. So they slew the bulls, and the priests received the blood and sprinkled it on the slaughter place. And they slew the rams and sprinkled the blood on the slaughter place. And they slew the lambs and sprinkled the blood on the slaughter place. And they brought out the male goats of the sin offering before the sovereign and the assembly, and they laid their hands on them. And the priests slew them, and with the blood made a sin offering on the slaughter place, to make an atonement for all Yisrael. For the sovereign said, the ascending offering and the sin offering, it's for all Yisrael. And he appointed the Levites in the house of Jehovah with cymbals, with harps, and with lyres, according to the command of David and of God, seer of the sovereign, and of Nathan the prophet, for the command was by the hand of Jehovah, by the hand of his prophets. And the Levites stood with the instruments of David, and the priests with the trumpets. And Hiskiyahu gave the order to offer the ascending offering on the slaughter place. And when the ascending offering began, the singing unto Jehovah began, the trumpets, and with the instruments of David, sovereign of Israel. And all the assembly were blowing, and the singers singing, and the trumpeters blowing, all of this until the ascending offering was completed. And at the completion of the offering, the sovereign and all who were present with him bowed and worshipped. And sovereign, Hiskiyahu, and the rulers ordered the Levites to sing praise to Jehovah with the words of David and of Asaph the seer. And they sang praises with gladness, and they bowed their heads and worshipped. And Hiskiyahu responded and said, Now that you have ordained yourself to Jehovah, come near and bring slaughterings and thank offerings into the house of Jehovah. And the assembly brought in slaughterings and thank offerings, and all those whose hearts were so moved brought ascending offerings. And the number of the ascending offerings which the assembly brought was 70 bulls, 100 rams, 200 lambs, all these for an ascending offering to Jehovah. And the set-apart gifts were 600 bulls and 3,000 sheep. Only the priests were too few and were unable to skin all the ascending offerings. So their brothers, the Levites, helped them until the work was completed, and until the other priests had set themselves apart. For the Levites were more upright of heart to set themselves apart than the priests. And there were also many ascending offerings, with the fat of the peace offering, and with the drink offering for every ascending offering. Thus the service of the house of Jehovah was re-established. And Hiskiyahu and all the people rejoiced that Elohim had prepared the people, because the matter came about so suddenly.